Today we're going to make some Reese basses that sound like this. What's up guys, it's Aiden aka Artsy here with EDM Prod, and I've been wanting to make a video on making Reese basses for quite some time now because they're quite a complex sounding bass, but in reality they're actually pretty simple to make. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through the basic principles that you as a producer should know when it comes to making this type of sound. One thing I've noticed a lot of tutorials on YouTube have been doing is they've been teaching people how to make a very specific kind of Reese bass, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to show you the principles and the different processes you can use in order to make any type of Reese bass sound. So I'm going to be using Serum to make this sound. And if you really want to be getting the most out of this tutorial, I'd recommend you stick around for the whole thing, because the little tips and the little different ways you can do this will really help you make your own Reese basses and make them sound unique. So let's get into it. So I've just got the initial Serum patch here, and I'll just play this little thing here so you can hear what it sounds like. So that's the first thing I'm going to go over is like the different sound sources you can use. So as I said, saws are one, and you can also use square waves. So if you go to something like the, where are we? Basic shapes. Come on, Aiden. There. And then you can go to like a square wave. That's also some people like to start like that. And the last way is you can actually use something like a simple sine wave, but we'll start with saws. So the second kind of principle in making a Reese bass, once you've got like one of these default shapes, I guess, is that you can use a detune method essentially to get that really thick sound. And that's essentially how a lot of the Reese bass sound is born, is through this detuning of oscillators and getting this thick sound of slightly off pitches. So one way you can do that, and probably the most common way people do it, is by increasing the unison. Now, when using unison for bass sounds, I always like to use an odd number to keep that central voice mono. As you can see there, if you have an even number, you get 2 in the middle, which isn't the end of the world, but it just means that you don't get a strong central tone. So that's what I like to do when making bass sounds. Then you can have a bit of blend so that central tone pokes through. And the amount of detune you use gets like a thicker, kind of more, I guess, aggressive sound almost. Versus a more thin sound. So it's important to choose an amount that suits the kind of vibe you're going for. You know, if you're going for a softer, Reese sound, like say in a liquid tune, or say something like, maybe you're making like a hip hop tune or something like that, and you want like a soft Reese, then that's the kind of thing you can go for. If you're wanting if you're making like aggressive dubstep or drum and bass or any sort of heavy bass music, you'll probably want to get some nasty detune in there. But that's one way you can add it. Now, bear in mind when you're adding detune like this, you're also adding width. And in Serum, you can avoid that if you want to get like more of a mono Reese sound by cranking this width of the unison down in the global settings. So you get this kind of sound. So it's really up to you. That is obviously quite a difference in sound. Now, one thing a lot of people do when they're making Reese basses is, because it is a bass and you want that solid foundation, is they layer in a sub sine just direct out, so it's not going through any of the effects we add later on. And it just gets that heavy low end as a bass line, haha, pun intended, for the sound. So you can hear how that has an effect very subtly. So it adds a lot of weight to the bottom end of the sound, which is really nice. Now, the other way people sometimes like to do it is they can use something as simple as 2 oscillators. Now, these will both be mono because we're not using any unison anymore. They just detune them, say about 20 cents each way. Something like that. That's more of a simple mono kind of Reese sound, probably more like old school sounding, I guess, because it's like that mono sound. If you're using something like a square, you can do the same sort of thing. We can go here. It's more of like a hollowy sound. It's also a bit more harmonic and aggressive. So once again, if you're going for that aggressive sound, that's how you would do it. But one really cool thing you could do is introduce some pulse width modulation on like the warp modes here. So let's just use one. We'll turn this back to 0, and you can like use an LFO to and then unsync it. About there is like a nice area. I'm going to go back to the saws and just use like a pretty standard Detune saw sound. And we're going to add now the next kind of step, which is this filtering. Now, I think like a 12 dB per octave sounds nice for a lot of Reeses because it kind of lets the high end through, but while still being quite sharp. You could try 18 or 24 for that more like controlled Reese sound, but... And you really want to crank up the resonance here because the Reese is like, a lot of the movement of the Reese comes from moving the cutoff of the filter here. You can add some key tracking to make it move with the different notes. So if you want that deep Reese sound, you'd bring this down quite a lot. And add more drive if you want that real driven sound. But yeah, you can use other ones. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for now. You can put the sub there, but obviously in this case, we're direct outing it, so it doesn't matter. One really cool thing you can do, once again, to kind of get that old school sound is to add some noise in. Now you can put this through the filter or not. I like to just have it actually going bypassing the filter, just because that way you get that subtle noise. You can key track it too. Just a bit of imperfection in the sample, I guess. So that just helps add some character. But a lot of the way we can add extra tone to the sound is actually through the effects. That's kind of another way that, you know, you can get drastically different results for Reese basses with drastically different effects. One other way people add detune to a Reese bass is through this hyper effect in Serum, which is very similar to a detune, except it moves the detune of the voices with this rate control here, and you can go up to 7 voices. So right now we're going to be essentially doing 2 layers of detuning, which can be good, but it can also create a bit of a mess sometimes. So bear that in mind. You start to get this really wet, thick sound when you add multiple layers of detune, which can be desirable. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool sound. Obviously distortion, and I might do that before the hyper here. You can get some really nice harmonics. This is especially good if you're using like a sine. Like if we change this to a sine. We can really thicken up the sound that way, and it's still a kind of a deeper sound. It's not as aggressive, obviously starting with sine waves, but you can get some really nasty tones out of it. Oh my gosh, not that. But you know the point. Let's go back to the saw wave. But obviously, if you've already got like a harmonically rich wave, like a square wave, you probably wouldn't be wanting to add too much distortion. Otherwise, you'll get like crazy effects. But that just can add a nice grit to your Reese bass. Otherwise, it can sound a bit too clean. So I really like doing that. You can use like Dimension if you want to add some space, but I don't like to. I'm going to cover some of these other effects in a bit, but obviously if you want that modern Reese, EDM kind of sounding Reese using a multi-band compressor, you can change this ratio up to limit if you want. Play around with the bands depending on the sound. Yeah, and that kind of helps give it that real unique edge to the sound. Obviously, you can do extra filtering if you want to add extra timbre to the sound. I'd do this before the compressor. You can use like some comb filtering. Could add like a note. You know, something like that. But that's up to you. I'm not going to use it in this case. And you can keep playing around with other effects like chorus. But I'm kind of liking this basic sound for now. Add a bit of attack there to get rid of that click. One really cool thing you can do is activate this re-trigger as well. Gives that really like spreading out kind of effect because all those voices are re-triggering at the same time. So that's really fun. Turn that master down a bit. But that's pretty much it for the effects. Now, one thing I want to talk about is like movement and stuff like that with Reese basses. Now, obviously, a lot of the interest comes from movement. So you can, like we set up before, use an unsynced LFO to kind of add various types of movement to different parts of the sound, like the filter cutoff or the volume, for example, like. Then what you do essentially is you can modulate this rate with the note cutoff. One really cool thing is the fine pitch if you get like a real small amount. Or the phase, which is essentially kind of gonna sound like pitch. Add it to multiple things. Some of the effects, just to get that movement, you know. Even the Detune amount is a really cool way to get like some nice, just extra movement. In fact, that's probably one of the main ways I'd recommend. Awesome, but say we want to add that more old school kind of effect. Now, one thing, this is obviously a cool sound and I'd totally use this, but one thing I haven't seen in a lot of tutorials is people bouncing down their Reeses to audio and actually processing them that way. Because we could just do Serum, but I'd like to do some extra processing. So I'm going to add a bit more of a low pass to this. I'm also going to turn down the... I'm going to make the movement in this sound more subtle. Let's duplicate this one. Duplicate it. I'm just going to solo it, and we can freeze it and flatten. Then we can load up a sampler or a simpler, whichever you're in, or whichever DAW. You should be able to drag it into a sampler of some sort that's native. You can map it to the... That was a E, so I should go down 4. So just so we can make sure it's on the right pitch. And if I'm correct, it sounds like a C to me. Yeah, cool. And you can already hear you get that movement from the sound. And one thing you can do to accentuate that is add looping. So if we add looping here, you get that like repeating effect even more accentuated, and you can we can add extra effects now to kind of dirty up the sound even more. We could even throw on like another Serum effects to add like more thickness to the sound. I haven't actually updated my Serum effects in a while. We could EQ it to add some saturation. I like something like Decapitator by Sound Toys. And then like, you know, OTT again or something. You know, you could color the sound with amps. You know, the possibilities are really endless, but you get the point here that there's a few effects, there's a few principles which have contributed to this sound. And you can make it as dirty or as clean or as understated as you'd like it, and it can serve that effect, whether it's a soft one with like, you know, really low filtering, or it's more of an aggressive one like this. So I really hope that that's taught you the principles behind making a Reese bass, and that you can make basically any type of Reese sound using that, any endless combination of effects, those source sounds, those detune methods. So yeah, now, one thing I want to give away for you guys, and we've given this away in a previous article we've written, how to make drum and bass. We've put together like a D&B starter kit, and the reason I want to give it away in this video is because a lot of these sounds and similar types of sounds will be available in that kit. So I'll leave a link below for you guys to grab that for free. I hope you guys have learned a lot in this video. If you thought it was valuable and you think there's someone else who'd get something out of it, make sure to drop a share, or yeah, you can drop a share, right? Share it with your friends, drop a comment, what was your favorite part of this tutorial, and obviously like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want more content from the EDM Prod team. Awesome guys, have a great weekend, stay safe at the moment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.